Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of the Keys to Crypto. If you don't mind, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it and appreciate you joining the channel. And above all else, before we get started, this is not financial advice. Do your own research and please never, ever, ever, ever risk no more than what you're willing to lose. But today we're going to be talking about a subject that no other channel has talked about. And the reason I know is because no other channel has talked about it except for this one. And this is how crypto is basically going to help save college football and a lot of these universities and conferences. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, keys to crypto, how exactly is that going to work or whatever? Well, I can't get into all the specific details, but I am going to give a generalized rundown because a lot of the things that I know would help save it, people would actually have to sign a non-disclosure agreement because I'm actually trying to meet with a lot of these colleges, universities, conferences, anybody that will hear me as far as how this can be implemented in and how much money that they would actually save and actually the revenue they could help generate off of it. But the first thing that it would help with is a lot of these coaches' salaries and above all else their buyouts, which a lot of these buyouts are just hugely ridiculous. And I don't know who's negotiating these deals for them, but kudos to them because to me, if you give a poor performance, you shouldn't be rewarded with a bunch of money. That's just my personal opinion, but that has nothing to do with crypto right now. But the basic thing is crypto would help with a lot of this stuff. Now, like I said, I can't get into the fine details or whatever because I don't want to give my ideas and what would actually help save it, because I do have a plan that actually would save these universities and all a lot of money. Now, by doing that, it brings it to the third point, is it would help protect the university brand, because ultimately crypto would play a huge part in the universities being able to pay these college coaches these astronomical salaries and buyouts. Now, again, there's a lot of details behind the scenes. I'm not going to disclose actually how this would work, but put it this way, it would save them millions and millions of dollars, and of course, above all else, it would help generate them a lot of revenue as well. But the fourth thing that it would also help is with the players' NIL deals. Now, here, this has really been a wild west in the past couple years about whatever, because basically these college players are now being paid in order to play. Let's get real. That's exactly what has happened. Now, a lot of aspects of that I don't agree with because, again, these kids are coming out of high school. They're not proven, and you want to hand them millions of dollars. But the thing about it is, this is where crypto can help solve that problem. And I'm willing, again, to talk to these players about it. I'm willing to talk to the coaches about it, these universities, these chancellors, the SEC commissioner, the Big Ten commissioner, heck, even the college football committee, whoever, ESPN. I'm willing to talk to them about it. But above all else, not only would it help on this, it would overall help these conferences, and especially some of these smaller conferences that are having a tougher time competing against these huger conferences, and above all else, these huger teams like you got Ohio State, Alabama, and all these that have, or Texas, that have a lot of money, and a lot of these smaller conferences and schools can't compete against it. But crypto can actually help narrow that gap, if not make it equal, and actually give these teams more of a shot to be even more to be competitive or more competitive against these teams and against these colleges and against these universities. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to do this video, and like I said, I can't get into a lot of specific details on a lot of this because, like I said, these ideas are revolutionary, and I don't want them to get out there. Ultimately, I'm sure at some point in time, a lot of these colleges and universities will get glued into a lot of this stuff, and will probably implement some aspect of it without even knowing who I am or whatever, because I'm sure somebody ultimately is going to whisper in their ear. But the reason I'm doing this video is is whether you're at Alabama, Ohio State, the SEC, Big Ten, or whatever conference or chancellor you may be, if you would get ahead of the curve on this right now, you would help revolutionize your league and your conference, because guess what? Everybody else would see the model and the blueprint by which you are laying down, and a lot of teams would follow a similar blueprint. It doesn't have to be exact, because every college and every university and every league could be different. But the thing about it is, overall, it would save the conference a lot of money. It would save the universities a lot of money. And above all else, it would save definitely these universities, how they brand a lot of their products and whatever, a lot of money, and actually help them generate more money, by which, guess what? It would help in these NIL players getting even more money. So if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, get the word out there. Keys to Crypto is bringing it, and we're going to go. I'm going to keep pounding the pavement. I'm going to keep doing everything I can to get a hold of these colleges, these universities, any of these coaches, whoever will listen, that we can come up with a game plan, well, at least that they will listen to what I have to say, that will help in them being able to not just be competitive, but with this, if they get on board early, they'll have a competitive edge against all these other teams and universities long before it will, because that's what happened with a lot of these schools with the NIL collective. Well, here's the thing is, this is what I call 2 or 3 steps ahead of that. And if they would just get on board with this now and start implementing it within the next year or so, man, they'd be far ahead of anybody else. But anyway, appreciate you watching the videos. Tell me what your thoughts, your opinions on this is. We'll see you in the next videos. Good luck investing, and be safe out there.